Okay, so here's a question that sits at the heart of, well, everything. How can a finite human mind, our little brains, possibly grasp a reality that is, by its very definition, infinite? I mean, it seems like an impossible problem, right? But what if there was a map? What if there was an ancient divinely engineered architecture designed specifically to bridge that impossible gap? Let's dive into this, because today we're exploring one of the most profound and frankly elegant concepts in all of Kabbalah, this cosmic system of gates that makes the unknowable knowable.
It all kicks off with this one, super cryptic phrase from the Zohar: her husband is known in the gates. Now, in the rich, symbolic language of mysticism, the husband here is the divine. It's that ultimate hidden reality. And the bride? That's the Shekinah, the collective soul of all creation. So what this one little line is telling us is absolutely extraordinary. It says the divine isn't known directly, not in some massive, overwhelming, formless blast of infinity. No. Instead, the divine is known through gates, through structured, specific, and measured points of access. And this isn't just a pretty metaphor. It's a literal blueprint for consciousness. It's the whole secret to divine revelation.
So to really get our heads around this, we're going to go on a bit of a journey. We'll start by really facing the core problem, that unknowable light of the infinite. Then we'll uncover the incredible solution, this divine architecture of revelation. We'll look at the actual map for this system, which, you'll see, is also a map of our own soul. Then we'll figure out what the key is to unlock it. We'll even play around with some powerful modern ideas to really make it click. And we'll wrap it all up by bringing it right down to this very moment, asking which gate is yours to open.
All right, so to really appreciate how brilliant the solution is, we first have to stand in complete awe of the problem. And the starting point of all Kabbalistic thought is this encounter with a reality so vast, so utterly beyond anything we can imagine, that it just escapes all human words, all human concepts.
This reality has a name, Ein Sof, and the name itself is basically a warning label of what we cannot know. It literally means without end. Now, this is not God as a person or a being with a list of attributes. No, this is the absolute, primordial, totally undifferentiated infinity that comes before all existence, before all worlds, before even the first thought. In fact, sacred texts like the Sha'arim flat out say that any thought about the Ein Sof is basically forbidden. And not because it's some taboo secret, but because any thought we could possibly have about it would be a limitation, a definition, and therefore it would just be wrong. It's the ultimate unknowable.
And you see how this creates the ultimate theological paradox. If the divine source is truly infinite, truly without end, how can we in our little finite reality possibly connect with it? I mean, any direct contact would be like trying to plug a toaster into a supernova. The sheer energy would just annihilate the vessel. So how is any relationship, any knowledge, any prayer even possible without us being instantly vaporized? This is the central question the entire mystical tradition is built to answer.
And the answer is as elegant as it is profound. The divine itself, in what you can only call an act of ultimate compassion, engineered an interface, a kind of cosmic operating system that allows the finite to safely and meaningfully engage with the infinite. This is the system of Sha'arim, or gates. So what exactly are these gates? Well, think of them as divinely calibrated filters, or maybe like prisms. They don't make the infinite light any smaller, but they give it structure. They give it dimension, quality. They translate this incomprehensible, unified reality into a whole spectrum of attributes that our finite consciousness can actually perceive and interact with. Remember, the Zohar says the divine is known in these gates. That means the gate itself, the quality of kindness, or wisdom, or discipline, that is the medium of knowledge. Each gate reveals a different facet, a different intensity, a different color of the one divine reality. And what's wild is that this ancient system maps almost perfectly onto how we understand modern technology. Just imagine the Ein Sof as the core processing system of reality. It's infinitely powerful, but it's totally inaccessible to the end user. You can't just log into the source code. The Sefirot, the gates, they're the user interface. They provide tiered access levels. Not everyone has the same permissions. The user, that's us, the human soul, can only access the parts of the system for which we have clearance. So knowing God becomes this process of authenticating yourself and gaining access to higher and higher tiers of this divine interface. So let's just break this architecture down into 3 simple layers. First, you've got the core, the Ein Sof. It's always hidden, the silent source behind everything. Second, you've got the interface, this vast, intricate system of gates that translates the infinite into forms we can know. And third, you have the experience. And this part is absolutely crucial. The experience is always personalized.
The light that shines through the gate of kindness is perceived differently by every single soul, based on their unique capacity, their readiness, their inner purity. The system itself is objective, but the experience is uniquely yours.
Okay, so if this is a cosmic interface, where's the user manual, right? Where's the map to navigate this whole system? Well, the Kabbalists provide one. The primary architecture of this system of gates is laid out in that well-known structure of the 10 Sefirot.
You see, the 10 Sefirot aren't just abstract philosophical ideas. In this framework, they are the 10 primary gates, the main archetypes of divine expression. They're channels, like Chesed, which is loving kindness, Gevura, which is strength and discipline, and Tiferet, beauty and harmony. Each one is a gate that we can pass through to experience and understand a specific, tangible quality of the divine. To truly know compassion, for example, is to have a partial but absolutely true knowledge of God by entering the gate of Chesed.
So where does this epic journey begin? The entry point, the very first gate we all have to pass through, is the 10th and final Sephirah called Malkut, or Kingdom. This is the gate that corresponds to our physical, manifest reality. It's the interface point between all the spiritual worlds and our world. In the Psalms, it's called Sha'arei Tzedek, the gates of righteousness, because this is the realm where our actions, our ethical choices actually matter. It's the ground floor of the entire divine palace. And believe me, there are no elevators to the top.
And the Zohar makes this crystal clear. It states that Malchut is the first gate to enter. It's not optional. You can't just bypass it with some fancy mystical technique or intellectual shortcut. And then it says something incredible. And in this gate, all other supernal gates are seen. What does that mean? It means that your access to all the higher, more abstract, more profound realities, like wisdom, understanding, or pure love, is totally dependent on how you first navigate this initial gate of our physical and ethical world. The way you act down here determines what you're allowed to see up there.
And this system isn't just a simple 10-step ladder. Oh no, it's a vast, fractal reality of gates within gates. The sources talk about things like the 50 gates of Bina, or understanding, for example. Each of the 10 Sefirot contains all 10 within itself, creating this complex, nested, holographic structure. And as you ascend from one gate to the next, your perception gets clearer, the light gets more intense, your understanding deepens. It's like you're moving from the dim, outer courtyards of the palace, ever closer to the brilliant light of the throne room itself.
So we have this incredible architecture, this map of gates. But it's not an open-door system. These gates are locked. Which brings us to the most important question of all. What's the key? And the answer shifts our focus completely from the huge cosmic system out there to the inner state of the person seeking.
The Zohar says, the divine is known according to the measure of one's heart. So the really critical question becomes, what is this measure? What is the spiritual currency or the authentication key that grants us access through these gates? It's not about how much you know. It's not about reciting a secret password. It's all about who you are, moment to moment.
The mystical texts are very specific about what you need to get in. They list things like teshuvah, which means returning to your true spiritual source. Tahara, purity, not just of the body, but purity of thought and intention. Performing deeds, or mitzvot, with deep intention, kavanah. And cultivating these inner states, like humility, anava, and a constant state of connection to the divine, known as devekut. The key isn't something you have, it's something you become. Your inner state has to resonate with the frequency of the gate you want to enter. You simply cannot force open the gate of kindness with a heart that's full of judgment.
And this brings us to the absolute core secret of the whole system, and it's hidden in a brilliant linguistic twist. The Aramaic of the Zohar reveals this incredible connection. The word for measure, demesher, shares the exact same root as the word for gate, shar. The text is literally hiding the answer in plain sight. It's telling us something profound. Your inner measure is your gate. You don't find a gate, you become the gate. The degree to which you've cultivated kindness inside your own soul is the size of the gate of kindness that is open to you. The whole grand cosmic system, it's just a mirror reflecting your own inner reality.
Okay, I know, this is a deeply ancient and complex system. So to make it even more accessible, let's try reimagining it through a couple of modern analogies. This is a way to really grab onto the mechanics of the journey in a way that resonates with how we think today.
We'll look at it in two ways. First, a video game version, which is fantastic for getting the idea of progressive levels and earned achievements. And second, a cosmic engineering version, for those of you who think more in terms of systems, architecture, and data access. Both are just models, of course, but they really help illuminate the underlying mechanics of spiritual growth.
All right, the video game version. Everybody starts at level 1. That's Malkut, the physical world. The quests in this game are your ethical choices, your good deeds, your mitzvot. And every time you complete a quest with the right intention, you gain spiritual XP. This XP doesn't just raise your overall level, it refines specific attributes on your character sheet. Your kindness stat goes up, your discipline stat, your wisdom stat. And when a specific attribute reaches a certain threshold, boom! You unlock the corresponding gate, which is just like opening a new level of consciousness, a new part of the game world you couldn't even see before.
Now for the cosmic engineering version. Think of reality as a vast, secure network with multi-tier access control. The Sefirot are the different access tiers or permission levels. Entry into each tier provides progressive data exposure. The higher you go, the more of the core reality is revealed to you with less filtering. So how do you get access? Well, authentication is performed via your unique soul signature. And this signature is the sum total of your inner state, your purity, your intentions, your deeds. Your soul's signature is a living credential, constantly being updated by your choices, and it's what the system checks to determine which gates or which divine APIs you have permission to access.
So, we've journeyed from the infinite Ein Sof to a cosmic architecture and all the way down into modern analogies. But the ultimate purpose of this entire magnificent system isn't for abstract speculation. It's about bringing the infinite into the here and now, into your personal reality.
And that's the final question the system leaves us with. It's not about some distant future spiritual goal. It's about this moment, right now. Given the choices right in front of you today, which gate are you standing before? Is it the gate of kindness, waiting for a simple act of goodness? Is it the gate of discipline, asking for just a small moment of self-control? Or maybe the gate of humility, inviting you to listen instead of speak? The map is there. The keys are within you. The only real question is which door you will choose to open. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.